Hello everyone and welcome to my first ever speedrun. Anyways, my quarantine days have been inspired, motivated, influenced by videos of people doing weird speedruns, and I figure, hey, I'm already bad at video games. Why not make them even harder on myself by playing them fast? And I figured Super Mario 64 has thousands of speedruns, so that just means it's too easy. People aren't too intimidated to try it. All jokes aside, I joined the Discord community for Nancy Drew speedrunners, and they are very wonderful people, so huge shout out to them for helping me make this speedrun possible. So, if watching my very speedrun makes you feel inspired, motivated, influenced to do a speedrun of these games, I highly recommend you go check them out. Now, because this speedrun takes an hour and my channel isn't monetized to be able to put thousands of ads in it, I'm just gonna share the highlights with you. I'm kidding about the whole ads thing, by the way. But if you want to watch the full gameplay without me talking over it, the link to my speedrun submission, along with the speedrun page so you can see other runs and join the Discord community, will be linked below. Before we start, let me explain the Nancy Drew series to those of you who have never played it before. Basically, you have two goals in each game. 1, solve the mystery you somehow managed to get involved in, and 2, don't die from stupid. Ow, ow, ow! So, now that we're up to speed, let's get started. So, I did some behind the scenes work before I started this speedrun in order to make it fast. First, I set up the phone glitch by loading an old save file at a certain point of the game and making a phone call at just the right time. Then, I headed back to the main menu and went into my second glitch, which involves using a save file to load the new game menu. The purpose of the phone glitch is that it allows us to immediately start the first phone call that we have, which saves us a few seconds. And this glitch, combined with the save file, also allows us to skip a puzzle towards the end of the game that's super tedious and that I really hate. There's a reason why my split for it is labeled tears. So, we start the game with a phone call to the owners of Shadow Ranch, the Raleighs, where we learn that Ed thinks being bit by a rattlesnake is fine, you know, it's just a flesh wound.
Well, his arm swelled up something awful, and he was feeling pretty poorly by the time we finally got him here.
I was fine. She's exaggerating.
Oh, Ed, you wish. Anyway, dear.
The Raleighs swear they have no idea how a rattlesnake ended up in their bedroom, but guessing by how grumpy Ed sounds, I'm guessing his original thought process was Raleighs plus bedroom plus rattlesnake bite equals suck the poison out. But that's just me being hopeful about their love life. So, after that phone call is done, the next thing on our list is to go talk to Tex. And all you really need to know about this conversation is that while I think he's supposed to come off as a rough and intimidating guy, his voice, combined with his script, just makes me feel like there's some extreme sexual tension surrounding his character.
Then you're gonna saddle and bridle your horse. No need to brush him. I do that when I bring him in. Then you're gonna lead him to the mountain block in the corral and mount up. Then I'm gonna ask you some questions. You can't ride outside the corral till you get all the answers right.
Oh boy. He's also basically a giant toddler because he loves to say no.
Nope.
Then we have to go talk to Shorty, the main cook at the ranch and the guy that gives us chores to complete every day.
Tex said I should get a canteen from you and see if there are any chores you'd like me to do.
Music to my ears.
I'm supposed to be on vacation in this game. Why am I getting chores to do? Now, all I really care about in this conversation is why the does Shorty have 80 cloves of garlic? And also, why are there only 3 horseshoes? I mean, granted, I grew out of the horse girl phase, but last I checked, horses have 4 legs. The last important thing to note is that apparently Nancy looks like the type of person that doesn't know what a ripe vegetable looks like.
First thing you can do for me is go out to the garden and pick all the ripe vegetables. You know what ripe vegetables look like, don't you?
You bet I do.
We also get some backstory on the mystery we're solving in this game, but it's a speedrun. We don't care about the plot. So we grab the veggies quick, some sticks for the campfire, and bring them all back to Shorty, who doesn't seem to be very satisfied with how long it took us.
Pick those vegetables for me yet?
Can't say I'm surprised, considering he didn't even expect us to know what ripe vegetables look like. Shorty gives us this very sturdy looking egg basket to use that in normal gameplay would break on us in the chicken coop. I know, you're so surprised. But since we're gonna
make it fast,
we can just solve it now to avoid that cutscene. On our way to get the eggs, we also chop up some logs for the campfire and let out some very deep pent-up rage in the process. That's horrifying. We also go say hi to Dave, the guardian of the chickens, and get the key that we need for a later puzzle. We grab more sticks and eggs and leave the coop for a minute so that the psycho chicken doesn't kill us. Ow, ow, ow! We grab the last few things that we need outside for our campfire and have a pointless phone call before we can go back and grab the last egg and finish part 2 of our chore list. Now we just have to grab the last thing that we need for our campfire, a letter that we have to deliver, snoop through a letter that we shouldn't be reading, and open a puzzle chest to snoop through more letters and get some pieces that we all need later on. Now, thankfully I did well on this puzzle for this speedrun because in previous attempts, we struggled. So now we gotta make a fire, and then it's time to go for a ride. I would also like to point out that as a kid, I specifically remember that if I forgot the water bucket in this scene, you would leave and come back to the pump house on fire. But for some reason, it's not listed anywhere as a possible death scene in this game, and no matter what I tried, I could not recreate it. So maybe I'm just crazy. I swear to God it was a thing though, but apparently I made it up. Anyways, that's besides the point. It was at this point in the game that I made my first mistake and accidentally clicked on a super long dialogue option instead of the one I wanted.
Need something?
Do you know anything about the treasure that Dirk Valentine supposedly hid for his sweetheart?
Nope.
Figures.
I also managed to put my saddle on and then just rip it off half a second later. Doing great, Envy. Doing great. And if that wasn't bad enough, I then proceeded to tighten up my cinch and then completely loosen it again. God, I'm so good at this game. Now, we gotta speed through a quiz with text to prove that we're able to ride. Because apparently, knowledge about horses is all you need to be a good rider. But, you know, being a horse girl prepared me for this day, so we passed with no problem. We head on over to Mary's shop, and like any polite customer would, we just burst into her shop and immediately break open this trunk she has for sale. Speedrunning doesn't stop for the law. But apparently, Mary is intimidated enough by our skills that she just lets us have this puzzle from the trunk, which is good because we need to solve it to move forward. We talk to Mary real quick to unlock a new point on our map, and we also have the awkward pleasure of giving her the letter from the Raleighs that basically says, nah, we ain't selling you our land.
Bad news?
They rejected my offer.
Thanks, Raleighs, for making me do your dirty work. Before we can leave the shop and end our first day at the ranch, we have to play this Roadrunner game and grab a coin for one of the later puzzles. Then we head back to the ranch, and after some more snooping, we are greeted with,
She'll be coming around the mountain when she goes. Yodelay.
really bad yodeling and a great view of one of Shadow Ranch's hidden treasures. Isn't this supposed to be a kid's game? Well, at least they're social distancing from Nancy. An argument breaks out while we awkwardly sit there, and then Shorty dreams of the better life he's going to have without these guys.
You see that? You see what I put up with? Day in and day out, I cast my culinary pearls before ungrateful, uncultured swine. Well, I'll show them. I'll write a best-selling cookbook, that's what I'll do. Then I'll get my own TV show, then I'll do a movie, and while they're out here punching cattle, I'll become a gazillionaire.
Literally all I can think of when I hear this rant is someone punching cows in Minecraft. So of course, after everyone is gone, we end up seeing the spooky ghost horse who comes along and blows up the pump house. Wait, why did I even need the water bucket then? So, day 2 comes and we make a quick phone call to a book author to avoid answering our phone call from the Raleighs. I mean, no way am I answering them after they threw me under the bus at Mary's like that. And during this call, we asked the author for ideas of how to open the trunk that we literally opened yesterday at Mary's.
Well, I came across a very old trunk that might contain stuff that has to do with these people named Dirk Valentine and Francis Humber. Only I can't open it.
I guess we just did it too fast for Nancy.
Make it fast.
We go and start our chores for the day, and on our way to take the veggies back, we decide to go take a detour and investigate the pump house. We go and pick up this random arrowhead, and oh look! Secret passageway! Wow, what a surprise! There's an awkward encounter and a conversation with Dave. I mean, just look at that face. It's kind of hard not to feel awkward when he's just like staring at you like that. Anyways, he tells us more backstory about the legend of the ghost horse and the love story that goes with it, and awkwardly leaves before we can talk about much else.
Now, if you'll pardon me, I need to tend to my chores.
Ah yes, you go guard those chickens. Now, because we love to snoop, we go and find that Shorty has been out looking for some bling bling, but we get caught in the process and Shorty chews us out.
Apparently, there's no gold left in them thar hills, or silver, or copper, or anything else. Now, I don't ever want to catch you in my stuff again.
We immediately turn around and apologize and give him the veggies to get the basket again so we can go grab the eggs. We have another awkward conversation with Dave, but this time he isn't staring at us so creepily, so I feel less uneasy accepting his request that we fix the chicken coop for him later. And I also unlock another point on the map to ride to. We grab the eggs again, run them inside to Shorty, and surprise! It's Tex's birthday! So we gotta make him a cake. Now, for some reason, the Raleighs only have the most inconvenient measuring tools available, so this cake becomes super tedious to make. So, after 5 scoops of milk, 7 scoops of butter, 3 scoops of vanilla extract, and 3 scoops of baking powder, as well as some other fun stuff, we have ourselves a cake. Part of me wants to make this recipe someday, not gonna lie. And because Nancy has absolutely no manners, she samples a piece of the cake directly from it before she frosts it. That's gross. And we do a super annoying puzzle that is extremely picky about where you place the pieces.
The pieces go.
It's a tulip.
Gotta make sure we cover up the giant hole that we left from sampling the cake, I guess. No one will know. Then we go talk to Tex and don't even wish him happy birthday after we just got done eating part of his birthday cake on his birthday.
You and your friends, if they ever show up, you ain't gonna last more than 3 days out here.
Well, joke's on you, Tex, because this game only lasts for 3 days. Ha! So we gotta do more chores and feed the chickens and horses. I'm not gonna lie, during one of my practice rounds, I was rushing too much and I accidentally killed my horse.
Uh-oh.
It was pretty traumatic. But we're not gonna do that this time. Also, I don't know who did the eating animation for this part of the game, but man, I didn't know horses could just absorb their necks like that. It's like a turtle or something. Before we can go explore, we have to lasso. A broom? Really? There's a skull hanging on the door that would be perfect use for this and you picked a broom? Whatever. Anyways, we have to lasso this broom 4 times in a row and get a good time running barrels to get the lasso that we need for other parts of this game. The lasso part is kind of glitched, so really all we have to do is just spam click and we get it perfectly. And I wasn't too worried about the barrels because I had never gotten them wrong before.
10.5. Start over.
Wait. Seriously? This is the one time I messed them up? But, you know, I just decided, we're not gonna sweat it and we'll just move on and hope for the best. If that's the worst thing that happens during this speedrun, I'm happy. Anyways, we go exploring and somehow we see Mary right outside the corral, even though I didn't see her at all when we were in the corral 2 minutes before. We head over to this place called Cougar Bend and pick up some arrowheads, as well as look at these petroglyphs so that we can solve a puzzle we picked up earlier in the game. Then we head over to the trail stop to grab some more arrowheads and talk to the author again to get some information that actually helps us solve a puzzle we haven't done yet. Technically, we shouldn't have a phone signal and be able to make a phone call at this location, but we were able to use a glitch to make the call and save time. We also go look at this cool rock so that when we come back later, the rattlesnake under it doesn't spawn again and kill us. After that, we head on over to Dry Creek to get more arrowheads, a puzzle piece, and after getting permission from the sheriff, unlock another building and solve yet another puzzle. On our way out, we grab a hidden box and head to Mary's to get tuning forks that we need to complete our next puzzle. We give Mary the 10 arrowheads she asked for in order to borrow the tuning forks, and she immediately decides that she only needs 9, so we get one back.
If you go out and find me 10 arrowheads for this display I'm working on, I'll give them to you for free. You can put them in this.
I already have 10 arrowheads, see?
So you do. It looks like I only need 9 to finish this display. So here, keep this arrowhead. Thanks for your help, Nancy.
Side note, when I played this as a kid, I could only find 9 arrowheads in the game, and when I finally found the last one and brought it to her and she told me, actually, I only need 9, and handed the last one back to me, I think I experienced pure game-induced rage for the first time in my life. I can see why the Raleighs hate her. So we head back to Dry Creek again to complete this puzzle, and it was at this point that I realized that something was wrong. I should be able to just click on the box and the forks will come up. Where are the forks? Oh, I forgot the forks. So now, because I can't use my brain properly, we gotta go back and grab the forks. This is gonna be a huge time loss. Bob, this is a serious issue on our speedrun. Can you really not go any faster than just plodding along? I'm really glad Mary doesn't greet me when I enter the store because I really think I would punch a bitch right about now. So now that we have these freaking forks, we can go back and solve this puzzle. So we solve this puzzle, grab the paper that comes with it, and head back to the ranch to end day 2. We also see Mary and Tex talking not so sneakily along the way. I'm sure she's probably telling Tex about what an idiot I am for forgetting the forks, but we're not gonna worry about the 45-second time loss that we got from this puzzle. And the fact that we're now behind the pace I set in my practice run. Anyways, nighttime comes and now we have to do this god-awful chicken coop puzzle that I am not a fan of. But luckily we're able to go pretty fast and recoup some of the time we lost to the forks and get back on track to setting a new personal record. Huh, coop, get it? Coop, chicken coop, puns. It's at this point in the game that we get to have another encounter with the ghost horse and all the power to the house gets cut. Yay! We go into day 3, have another pointless phone call, grab a magnet in case we have to do that puzzle I absolutely hate, and go do our chores for the day. We then have to solve a quick puzzle for Tex before we can go riding. We head back over to Dry Creek and...
Maybe this is the key to the jail cell.
proceed to get knocked out and thrown into a jail cell. We have to solve this puzzle, and I'm not sure if it's the fact that Nancy just got knocked over the head, but for some reason she feels like we need to motivate ourselves every 3 seconds.
Very good.
Yeah, Nancy, you're doing great. Then we have to yeet one of these very conveniently placed bricks at the key after we somehow manage to lasso a chair while we're stuck inside a jail cell. That broom taught us well, I guess. This is also the only time that the lasso doesn't start in a throwable position, so we have to wait for it to smooth out before we can chuck it. We get the key, get out, grab one more piece of paper for yet another puzzle, and head back to the ranch. Once we get back to the ranch, we ask Dave if we can borrow a precious family heirloom of his, and he just gives it to us.
Did your great aunt by any chance leave you a ring?
Sure did. It was her most prized possession. In fact, I got it right here. Seems to me Aunt Ellie said Frances had one just like it. I keep it on me for good luck.
I know this is a lot to ask, but do you think I could borrow it for a while?
Borrow it? What for?
It's kind of a long story.
Just take care of it, okay?
I don't know about you guys, but if someone that I had only known for 2 days randomly shows up with a head injury from being knocked out and asks to borrow one of my most prized possessions with no real reason as to why they needed it, I'd be a little skeptical. We also have to unsaddle Bob just to walk 3 feet to talk to Dave and then come back and resaddle him to leave, which is annoying, but I don't want to take my chances with Tex chewing me out.
Nope.
So now we head back to the place that we just got attacked at. Smart. And we decide to do some gambling. Yay! But because this is a kid's game and we don't want to gamble our lives away, this will be the one time that we will save during the speedrun so that if we don't win on the first try, we can just reset until we do. If only life worked that way. So, using the ring from Dave and our token from day 1 and many failed attempts, the speedrun is a bit of a disaster. We finally get the key and head over to hopefully skip my least favorite puzzle of the entire game. Basically, you have to use a magnet to move these little metal charms to their proper places, and those little don't stick to the magnet for anything. So we head up to the puzzle and pray for big money, no whammies, and oh, thank God. Well, at least we have one thing going for us in this speedrun. Now we get to solve yet another puzzle. God, there's so many. And guess what we get? A piece of paper to solve another puzzle. So now we head back to Cougar Bend, grab this rough looking rock, and have Mary polish it for us.
Let me see what I can do.
Man, I love the sounds of nature. We take the pretty new rock, have another pointless phone call, and head back over to the trail stop so that we can wander off over into them thar hills. Don't worry guys, there's no gold there. Shorty told us so. We sprint down to the end of this rocky path, pull ourselves up to find the start of the maze, which we are going to consider to be another puzzle. We are also almost to the end of the game and finding out who has been behind all the shenanigans going on at the ranch. So if you haven't played this game and feel like guessing who it was, go ahead and write your guess and reasoning behind it in the comments. Don't worry, I'll wait. This is also a good time to point out that if you don't want spoilers for the end of the game, this is basically your last chance to stop watching the video before I ruin it for you. I know, the game is 16 years old, but you never know. You good? No? Okay, well you finish typing that while we do this puzzle. Now, during this maze, we have to collect 5 different keys to use on the door at the end. I'll be honest in the fact that I only practiced this maze like twice because I just really didn't want to do it. It was boring, okay? So, because I was too lazy to practice it, I wasn't even sure if I had collected all the pieces by the time that I got to the end, and I was really scared that I was gonna have to turn around and try and find another piece and waste a bunch of time. But thankfully, because I'm such a pro at speedruns, I remembered all the locations correctly and was good to go when I got to the final door. We throw all the pieces in, I guess we'll count this as a puzzle too, and we open the door to find gold? Shorty lied to me!
Uh-oh.
Why, hello, Nancy. Find the treasure yet?
Well, I guess that makes sense why he lied. Okay, this is supposed to be a child's game. Come on, you're just making it obvious. Anyways, Shorty admits to sabotaging everything on the ranch to try and scare everyone off to get the treasure. Nancy tries to bluff him into believing there's no treasure, but of course he doesn't believe us, so we have to try and escape him or we face a really disturbing death scene.
Here's Shorty.
Yeah, no thanks.
When all we really had to do was what I just got done doing. Follow you.
Look at that sass, my god. So, to escape our death, we do our final puzzle, and we swap the red and green rocks on these doors, which results in Shorty falling to a horrific death.
Whoa!
I'm just kidding, he falls on a ledge. Could you imagine though? R.I.P. to that hairline. Nancy tells him she's gonna call the sheriff, and we get the ending letter and call time. Now, despite all my screw-ups during this run, we actually somehow managed to snag second place, which is really cool. Now I have an accomplishment to share with my family, so I'm not a complete disappointment. Also, after I finished this run, I realized that I had managed to break the clicker in my mouse, and after watching back the recording, I can see that there were signs of it starting to go out while I was playing. So that's fun. Anyways, thank you so much to all of you that stuck around for the entirety of this speedrun. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please sure to like it to help the algorithm, share it with your friends, and subscribe, because we're not doing so hot in that department. Hey, we can only go up from here. If you would like to do so, please leave me a comment with suggestions of other games you would like to see me speedrun. Or, you know, gaming mouse suggestions, because I kinda need a mouse that will let me click and drag things. Rest in peace, mouse. We had some good memories. Alright, I've talked enough. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!